Good day, everyone. The topic that we are going to present to you is all about Filipino peace treaties with Filipino Muslims. So in year 1996, the government of the Philippines made a peace deal with a group called the Moro National Liberation Front. So as part of this peace deal, the government agreed to give areas where most of the Filipino were Muslims a certain level of autonomy. Means na sila'y power to make their own laws and decisions rather than being completely controlled by national government. MILF, or the Islamic Liberation Front, which split from the MNLF in 1984, is a Muslim group that is used to be part of the MNLF but parted away in 1984 because they had different ideas or goals. Despite nga na peace agreement between government and Filipino Muslims, there were still disagreements and not all Muslims group were satisfied. Simeon Cojuangco Aquino III was born on February 8, 1960 and was elected on June 30, 2010. He is the one who stand to stop an Asia's largest rebellions, and this was referring to MILF through peace agreement. He led the rule and made a significant effort with the intention to stop the rebellion, signing of the comprehensive agreement on the Bangsamoro in 2014. Through peace agreement, he used it because he aimed to stop the rebellion in way nga makig-negotiate sila sa Filipino Muslims. On March 23, 2014, the new chance for peace happened. And it is not easy nga ma-achieve ni because of prolonged process nga naagian. In this date also, officially ni-sign ang Philippine government of Filipino Muslims sa agreement. The term treaty signifies a formal agreement to end one of Asia's longest and deadliest rebellions. Primary reason of this conflict are the following. First is the Spanish colonization, second, the American colonization, na disregard ang social, political, o religious structures sa mga Moro Muslims. Is the political marginalization which Filipino Muslim is often felt na excluded sila sa political in terms of decision-making process, and lastly sa declaration of martial law on 1972 under the presidency of Ferdinand Marcos.
So now, let's proceed to the New People's Army or the NPA. In Tagalog, also known as the Bagong Hukbong Bayan. So what is the function of NPA? It acts as a CPP's principal organization aiming to consolidate political power from what it sees as the present bourgeois, reactionary puppet government, and also to aid the people democratic revolution. Ang NPA, mauna sila mga communist nga against gali sila sa mga pamahala sa gobyerno. So, Philippine Security Forces expecting the New People's Army to retaliate for the arrest of their leaders. So ang kanang PSF or the Philippine Security Forces is ilaha gyud kanang gi-aim gyud nila nga madakpan nila or ma-arrest nila ang leader sa NPA kay para kanang malesen gali ang problema sa Philippines. So now let's proceed to the peace treaty. So ang peace treaty, it is an agreement. It is an agreement sa anang kanang different nga places or different countries. If you can still recall katong kuan gali kanang Treaty of Paris, mao to siya anang kung magka-misunderstanding gali or dili sila makakuan sa agreement, it can cause war gyud. So during March 27, 2014, leaders of Moro Islamic Liberation Front or the MILF are set to sign a historic peace deal with Manila designed to put an end to one of the longest and most violent insurgencies in Southeast Asia. Bangsamoro Islamic Freedom Fighter or the BIFF have so far been excluded from the negotiations and could still pose a threat to peace prospect on the island. So now, what could be the impact in culture and also in economics sa in government peace treaties with Filipino Muslims? So ang impact ani niya sa culture is erosion and suppression of moral cultural heritage in some areas due to conflict and marginalization, kay also fostered a strong sense of moral identity and resistance, leading to cultural revitalization efforts in other areas. Then, the impact of the economic is stunted economic development and conflict affected regions due to insecurity, destruction of infrastructure, and limited investment, disrupted livelihoods, increased poverty, and created economic disparities compared to other parts of the Philippines. So, as you can recall, katong Marawi gali nga kanang war, murag mao tong best example ani, ang Marawi. So, ang ato nakita sa mga balita no is mas anang affected ang mga people didto, daghan kayong mga infrastructure ang mga nangaguba. Also, ang poverty sa didto during ato nga kanang war.
Let's move to Communist Party of the Philippines or CPP is under pressure. In the meantime, the Filipino government has said it welcomes new talks with the Communist Party. The government is signaling its openness to resume dialogue with the Communist Party of the Philippines or CPP, which has also been engaged in a decades-long insurgency. This gesture shows the government's broader effort to pursue peace across multiple fronts and reduce internal conflict nationwide. So, next bullet is talk between the CPP and the government previously collapsed but politically analyzed. Casipo views the recent arrest of the key CPP figures as a turning point. He believes this may weaken hardline resistance within the group and empower moderates who are more open to negotiation. As a result, this could reignite efforts towards a peaceful settlement and possibly end the insurgency. Peace between the government and with our country Muslim people has been declared. The final peace agreement signed, the Comprehensive Agreement on the Bangsamoro or CAB was officially signed on March 27, 2014. This landmark peace agreement was made between the government of the Philippines and the Moro Islamic Liberation Front. Making the culmination of years of peace negotiation, the signing took place at the Malacañang Palace in Manila, symbolizing a new chapter in resolving decades-long conflict in Mindanao. Let's move to peace agreement between the MILF or the Moro Islamic Liberation Front and the government. End of 40-year conflict, this agreement brought an end to nearly 4 decades of armed conflict in Mindanao. The prolonged struggle had resulted in the death of tens of thousands of people and widespread displacement. The MILF, a separatist group advocating for the right and autonomy of Muslim Filipinos, had been engaged in a violent struggle against the Philippine government. The agreement was signed during the presidency of Benigno Aquino III. The Moro Islamic Liberation Front, known as the largest Muslim rebel group in the Philippines, had long been fighting for self-governance and recognition of Bangsamoro identity. This agreement marked a turning point on their quest for autonomy and peace. The Comprehensive Agreement on Bangsamoro marks the success of Moro Islamic Liberation Front struggle. Bangsamoro means Muslim homeland, showing their dream and having their own place and identity in Mindanao. The agreement confirms the Bangsamoro people's hope for self-rule and shows the Philippine government promise to support and recognize those hope. This peace deal creates a new autonomous region in southern Mindanao, replacing the old ARMM with the Bangsamoro Autonomous Region or BAR, which gives more power and freedom to the local government. The new region will share power with the nation government but can manage its own resources, income, and leadership to help it grow and succeed. And President Aquino's advisor praised the deal, which ended about 17 years of peace talks, as a big step towards lasting peace. Let's move to the conflict between the Filipino government and Filipino Muslim has had profound and multifaceted impact. First, in society, depends societal divisions, mistrust, and prejudice between Muslim and non-Muslim communities. Displacement, loss of life, and trauma have created lasting social wounds and hindered social cohesion. The second impact on the political created instability and challenged national unity, led to the rise and separatist movement and the need for complex peace processes and political accommodations, including the establishment of autonomous regions. The third impact of this topic is the culture, which is the erosion and suppression of monocultural heritage in some areas due to conflict and marginalization. Also fostered a strong sense of moral identity and resistance, leading to cultural revitalization effort in other areas. And the last is the economic. Stunted economic development in conflict-affected regions due to insecurity, destruction and infrastructure, unlimited investment, disrupt livelihoods, increased poverty, and created economic disparities compared to other parts of the Philippines.
So my personal recommendations about this topic, which is the government peace treaties with Filipino Muslim, is to first, deepen understanding and empathy. More platforms for mutual understanding of historical grievances, cultural distinctions, and aspirations on both sides. This involves active listening and recognizing the diverse experience with the Filipino Muslim community. Second is to strengthen trust-building mechanisms. Consistent and transparent implementation of peace agreements is crucial. Independent bodies with moral representation can help monitor progress and address grievances effectively. Last is genuine autonomy with fiscal viability. Granting meaningful autonomy that allows for self-governance on key issues while ensuring adequate financial resources to support development and essential services.